And esports really just
One, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three. All right, good to be streaming. Okay, we are going to be working on our login system today. We're going to be looking at trying to get Google Auth working through our Keycloak. And we have Keycloak set up here. Keycloak is, think of Keycloak as Firebase. It's pretty much a Firebase. You're able to set up all of these identity providers at a provider. And you can set all these guys up: Bitbucket, Facebook, GitHub, GitLab, Google, Instagram, LinkedIn, Microsoft, all the way down to Twitter. The only one not in here is Apple, but there's an extension that allows you to put Apple on there. So I'm working on getting Google set up. I got my client ID, my client secret, my endpoint. So yeah, we're going to try to get this all linked into our app. Not really sure how to go about that. So there's going to be a lot of Googling, a lot of looking up going on here. Let's see, let me jump into my chat room on here. There we go. And put this over here. All right, put that on the right. You got the stream going. I want Discord up on the right. And I want, this is my server right here. I was working on getting the configuration of Keycloak set up, and then I was trying to get the service script working, so I can delete that, save that. System control, and then reload. There's spike through grep. Keycloak. Keycloak is running. Kill. What's the PID? 3041043 3041004. See if it's running. Nope, it's not running. Start it back up. System control. Start Keycloak. Oh, why is that? That you'll hear that. Let's see if you can hear that. For Streamlabs. I'm using Streamlabs. No, you can't really hear it. Okay, good. I'm using Streamlabs to do the streaming across multiple channels: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Yep, those channels. All right, so this is all set. Do we need anything else on the server? I do not believe so. So we can close the server. Now, we're back into our window. So we're going with Google Auth. Where's Google Auth? Google Redirect. Google Get, Google Sign in, OpenID, Issuer, Discover, Google. All right. Now we don't want that. We want a different issue. Discover. Find OpenID, SRC, function, all right. Ah, there we go. Issuer. So this opens up the Google. So this is the Google URL. I don't want the Google URL. Oh, you know what? I need to finish setting up my client. refresh this. I need to, oh, session timed out. I need to set up a client on Keycloak to allow my app to log into it. So we're going to create a client. We're going to call it Bible Breeze minus app. All right, we're going to name it Bible Breeze. And the description is Bible Breeze app / website. Okay. Always display in console. Yes, this always display in console would only show if there was an active session. So we don't expect there to be a lot of sessions from the start. So we're going to put it as to always show. Client authentication, no. Standard flow, yes. Direct access. Direct access gives you a token. So it will do token granting. So Keycloak will get a token from Google, and Keycloak will take that token and pass it on to your app. Your app then can then get all the information from Google. It's kind of a triangle system with Keycloak at the top of the triangle and your app at one end and your authorization provider at the left end. All right, so implicit flow, yes. Save. All right, all that's set up. Now we need to set the root URLs. So these here, so this is one. This is the Realms Bible Breeze account. Now, if I put Realms Bible Breeze, what do we call it? Bible Breeze app. Page not found. And that's where I was messing up. That's where I was getting at earlier. I was like, why is this not working? I couldn't figure it out. Realms Bible Breeze. And Keycloak administration. Let's see. Where's refresh? Realms Bible Breeze account. Let's go to Bible Breeze app. Put it in the root URL. Bible Breeze. Bible Breeze. Save it. We're just going to copy what's in the other account. So Realms Bible Breeze account is a home URL, and then the valid redirect URIs is the same as a home URL with the anything asterisk after it. So we're going to go back to our Bible Breeze app and copy and paste the same home URL is Realms Bible Breeze account and the valid redirect Realms Bible Breeze account star. All right. Forget somewhere now, maybe. Saved. What else we got in the account? That's pretty much it. Login theme base, back channel logout. Okay. So let's look at Bible Breeze. Always display. Valid post logout. Bin URL. Login theme base. Save. Not really sure what all of these settings are. Roles. Oh, we need all the roles. Roles. Delete, manage account links, manage consent, view applications. Here, let's do that. Let's leave all that other stuff alone. Let's create a note for ourselves. Note. I'm just going to paste those in there, and I'll put this over on the right screen so I can see them as I type them in. So Bible Praise app, roles, create role, role name, delete count. Now these roles actually should already be. Really? I got to do all of that? You know what? I'm about to just use this. Forget the Bible Breeze. I'm just going to use account. I might build its own app in the future, but that's a lot of typing. And you know what? If you don't have to reinvent the wheel, don't reinvent the wheel. Nobody's using this except me. So if there's a valid command called account, guess what? We're going to use BAM account. Sign in. I've already set Google up. That is one of the identity providers we're going to log in with this dude. And then you need to verify my email address and email with instructions. So we pull up the email. There it is. Someone has created a Bible Breeze account. Log in to access it. Bam. I'm in. And they're like swimwear. There we go. Okay. So we've decided we're going to use account, all right? So we're going to use account. That's all this other stuff. Let's close some of this stuff out. So I found this website here, Keycloak integration with Flutter. And it kind of goes over a rough how-to on installing Flutter, which is pretty good. And then it goes into create an API. So we're going to try that. We're going to create our client ID and our URL to the realm there. So let's get that information. We're going to put this in const C. And pardon me for a few, I need to make sure that const C doesn't have anything you guys can see. It shouldn't be seen. Let's see. Applications, utilities, const C. All right, I'm going to go down to the bottom here. Bam, there we go. You guys are invited once more. We are going to put what's that? Write it. Const name equals okay. Const Keycloak. URL equals const Keycloak client ID equals client ID is account and the URL. You don't need to see that dash. Gotta love live streaming. I'm gonna have to change that. Make it more work for myself. Keycloak realm URL. Okay, what's our realm URL? This guy. Root URL, which is this. Copy it. No. Make sure there wasn't anything in it. Let's see. No, it's just that. Okay. Account. There we go. Save it. Let's just save it up there because that's how it is. So our open issuer discover is going to be what? What do we want in here? Discover URI client HTTP client. The URI is URI parse keycloak MID. What does it want? The client. No, it's HTTP client. This. Let's go to definition and look. HTTP client. What does the client do? 808 HTTP get URI client, HTTP client. Open from JSON. JSON. Discoveries. URI. Okay. So HTTP get. So the client is what is the main enchilada. So that should be create a function to open a browser with a URL. Right? Do you know what? We're going to look up. Well, let's first look at that page before we go looking up and get. Let's see what that page said. That page said the URL is a SSO URL protocol OpenID token. So that's a string URL. The headers is content type, cache control, data client ID, the client ID, username, password, and grant type. Response equals await. So this is a, okay, so this is a JSON API client, auth repository. So if I created, all right, so if I took this here, it goes to the token, and I ran this, it would return me a response. It actually posts the response. Oh, it uses HTTP response equals wait HTTP post. And what do we do in our code? We don't do an HTTP post. We do a whoever's talking, your mic is really bad. Oh, B-Plab? Yeah, your mic's breaking up. I only hear static. All right, so you're going with. So right here we do a discover URI parse, and now we're looking for a client, HTTP client, which would be just HTTP, right? Because URI client. HTTP get the URI client. So HTTP get wants a map of string headers, so it wants some JSON. Oh, it wants the URI, the headers, and a client. So I need, so that HTTP client contains headers, which is a map string client headers. Don't know what that looks like. Client. So I know what the headers look like, but what is the required client? Where's client at? Here we go. This guy. Is it just client? I just call client? Let's see. So this is the client they want. Final HTTP client, HTTP client. So it has the ID of the client, the secret for authentication the client to the original post, the issuer represented. But that is what this is. This here is the issuer. Oh, here's a client. Oh my gosh. Let's put things in order here. Okay. Oh, we can't put things in order because the client requires the issuer. So do I just have to put URI plus client? And the client doesn't even run yet? How does this work? It doesn't, because the client's not activated, but it wants the client, right? Yeah, it's not assigned at this point. So we want that. So let's look at our example. We have this right here is the data that it's looking for. Oh, it's looking for the repository, I bet. Is that what it is? Let's see. All right, we want OpenID. We want to see what this guy's looking for right here. Because that's where we're at, right? We are at Discover. Yeah, right here, Discover. We're trying to get the issuer. And we need to make that final. So the final issuer, it was Google. So you know what? Let's just go see what the Google looks like. Auth. Or you know what? Maybe it's just as simple as what was it? OpenID. Maybe it's as simple as using OpenID as the client. Let's try that. That's what it was, wasn't it? What have I done? I haven't done too much. Just added this right here. All this talking, that's all I've done is added this right here. So let's just back it up. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Back, 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 back. There. So we did it. Discover OpenID Azure Google. So let's just go see what that is and try to mimic. Simple as that. Facebook is just a URI parse. So all I do is URI parse. Did that. That's it. Well, that was a whole lot of searching for nothing. All right, so we're getting somewhere. So we have an issuer, we have a client. Now the client is going to the Keycloak realm, and we need a client ID, which is the Keycloak client ID and the client secret. I don't know what the client secret is. It's my client and I have no clue what the secret is. Let's see. This is the client. Roles, client scopes. OpenID, allowed web origins, effective role scope, generated access token. What is this? Generated ID token. No generated ID tokens. Well, I want to generate one. Oh, generated ID token. No generated ID token. Generated user info. So do I need an access token? I don't need a token. I need a secret. Where's the secret? Revocation order successfully pushed. Nope. Clustering. Fine grain. Authorization. Well, when you don't know, go to the docs. Does this say anything about a secret? At a realm. Oh, is it the realm secret? Does a realm have a secret? Realm settings. Because this is the realm here by Breeze. There's a master realm, which is the master. You don't really mess with it. And then you create your own realm, and I created Bible Breeze. So maybe it's in the realm. Righty. Type key ACR, OpenID configuration, manage access, login, email. I've already sent a test email to myself. Ah, someone's talking. What's up, Teal? Let's see. Keys. Is it a key? Nope, we're not looking for a key. We're looking for a secret. Security defenses.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Teal? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Trying to find. You know anything about Keycloak?
No, I don't. Like it is used for authorization.
Yeah, it's pretty much Firebase. It's your own personal Firebase.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Firebase is an authentication system, pretty much an authentication system. It has
So
all
for storage and authentication, right?
Not for storage, but for authentication. So like, let me see. Let me see if I can compile
I
real
think
quick.
for storage we use cloud store, Firestore. I don't know.
Oh, Firestore. Yep, you can use Firestore.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Firebase is authorization. Firestore is your storage, your SQL storage. I
Okay.
I don't use it because it's interesting. I use MySQL because my needs aren't that great, so I just use
Yeah.
MySQL. But
And
Firestore is
it's
good.
yeah, after certain like storage limits, it will ask you to pay in a Firestore.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I don't know. I haven't ever used it. I've just used I used their NoSQL for a couple of test runs, and that was kind of fun. NoSQL is really
Yeah,
fun. It's a fun storage system. You could just drop in entire objects and pull those objects right back out as is. It's the neatest thing I've ever
which
seen.
NoSQL platform did you use?
I used the one that was in popular in Flutter uh, from pub.dev. What was it? Hive. I used Hive.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a key value based system.
Hmm.
And you just drop it in the Hive box, and there it is. You pull it back out as is. All right, I am compiling my program to bring it up. Compiling? Yep, it's compiling. What platform do you code on?
Uh, like, uh, can you repeat the question?
What platform do you use to code on? Do you use a Mac, a Windows,
Yeah, I use
Linux?
Windows.
You use Windows,
I I use Windows and Linux.
Windows and Linux. So Android is kind of your go-to.
Yeah, Android.
Hmm. So this is what I'm at. I'm working on the Google login.
Uh, for here in India,
Uh-huh.
like Mac is not worth the money.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's yeah, it's super expensive. It's very expensive.
Yeah, compared to like other countries, India is super expensive.
Hmm. I need to move my little guy over so I'm not looking sideways, I guess.
There was a chart recently released, like for buying an Apple, Indian average customer need to spend 40% of his average income of whole year to buy an iPhone.
Wow,
That's
40%
really
of
crazy,
your
right?
income. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's I
for
have
United States, it's around 2%, just 2%.
yeah. I
For
know there's a
for India,
big difference
yeah,
in pricing. I have two people from India working with me on my projects.
yeah, you told me yesterday,
Oh,
like you found them on Upwork, right?
yeah, sure did. Okay. I didn't remember saying that.
Yeah.
um, Bplab asks what the stream is about, anything specific? Well, Bplab, what I'm doing is working on, as you can tell, the authentication system for my app, Bible Breeze. So I'm trying to get Google to work. Once I get Google working, all these other social profiles will just fall into place. So
Yeah.
there's not a lot of documentation on this. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go, but I'm using Keycloak as the authentication system. A lot of people use Firebase. The reason I use Keycloak is because I can make it available on every platform. Right now, my app here compiles and works on every single platform. So I don't want to break that. I don't want to make it just for iOS and Android. Right now, it works on Android, iOS, Linux, Mac, web, and Windows. So To do that,
Oh,
Firebase does not work on Windows or Linux. Firebase does not work on these two platforms. I want my program to work on those. So in order to
I
work
didn't
on
know that.
those, yeah, in order to work on those two platforms, I have to make my own authentication system, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm building my own Firebase that will allow me to run on those platforms.
Yeah.
Theoretically, this should work. All right, so we got the issuer, we got the client, we got the launcher. Oh no, I need the secret. That's what I was looking for. We need to find out where the secret's at. Where the secret is secretly hidden. So let's go take a look at the docs. And also, I'm streaming this. You know that deal. I'm streaming this on like Twitch, YouTube,
Twitch.
yeah,
Oh,
Twitter, um, Trovo, docs, server containers, server administration, authorization, centrally managed fine-grained permissions per application and services. Let's go with that. We want the secret, client secret. Clients can use any of the client authentication methods supported by Keycloak, for instance, client ID and client secret, or an authorization request using client ID and client secret. Okay. Resource server. How do you set it? So this is using the secret. I need to set the secret. Server administration. Let's try that. Oh, identity providers, Google, client ID, and the client secret. Okay. So do I use that client ID? Yes. Oh, so I don't use. I have to use the Keycloak client ID. There's the realm issuer, Keycloak client ID, the client secret. So we're going to just go with Google. Let's go with Google. Google client ID and Google client secret. We'll try it. We got to get something going first. Authenticator equals OpenID authenticator client URI parse Google redirect final auth parameters. Okay, so we are ready to fire this up. We just need to connect Google sign in. Go up here to the block, see if it's unplugged. What do I want? I want the application, I want presentation, I want authorization, I want login, I want the login qubit, and I want the login page. So where's Google? Control F, Google. All right. Final results equals await get it instance login qubit login with Google. All right. So we do that. And let's return result. It doesn't get used, but let's not do that then. Oh, because because it returns a string. This returns null. This is a string. Okay. So we're calling it. Let's go up into the qubit, log in with Google. Where's login with Google? Log in with Google. All right. Calling it Twitter sign in. Let's not call it Twitter sign in. Let's call it Google sign in. Google sign in is going to be go to Google sign in repository. Google sign in. It's repository, right? It's been a minute since I've done some of these. I'm trying to connect it to the DDD. That's what this is. This is all DDD. Should be like that. Oh. Do. I already called it up there. So we're going to Google sign in. Programs. All right. So it's going to return either left or right. So it's going to be either a failure or a member entity. So if it's left, then it's a failure. If it's a right, it's good. I think that's it. I think it's wired up now. Let's try it. Cranberry said they use Windows. Does anyone use Linux as their primary system or Mac OS as their primary development platform? VPlab says Fedora. Yeah, Fedora is nice. Fedora is a good system. In fact, my server that I run here, this is a server. It's connected. It's multiple servers in one. Is bam. Oops. too many things. My excitement to show my system. Red Hat Enterprise Linux Release 9. Yeah, buddy. Plow. That's what my server's running. Custom says dual Ubuntu and Windows. Oh, you do dual boot. I used to do that a long time ago. That's always fun. You know, on my Mac, I actually had it dual booting into Windows at one time. Cranberry says, I have Fedora, but I could not run Docker, so gave up. You know, I haven't played with Docker any. I know it's a containerized system. It's like a mini server, and then you can run your programs inside it, and then you can package that mini server up and put it out, issue it as a program. That's all I know about Docker. I haven't played with it any. I've run some programs that required it, but that's it. Nope, someone's talking to me. Who's talking to me?
The thing is,
Uh-huh.
the reason why I'm dual booting, it's because I actually want to switch to Linux, like
Mm-hmm.
fully, but I have some issues with some programs
Mm-hmm.
that I wish to sort out before I switch completely. But I'm in like the transition period. I'm not. I don't think I'll be switching to completely Ubuntu. Maybe some other distro, but I'm just testing things out with Ubuntu for now.
You know, Ubuntu's pretty popular. Uh, But once you get into those strong servers, you're going to find Oracle, which is based off Red Hat. Oracle's a good one. I hear Rocky is coming out good. I don't know if that was just a spin-off or if
Oh,
it's actually a good server or not.
Rocky is gonna be as like it's gonna weigh as much as Windows, in my opinion.
You think?
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Kinda and no at the same time, if I'm being honest. Um, the only thing I have two problems. I use Office a lot because I'm still in university, so I have to use Office for like research and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but other than that, the other thing that's holding me back is configuring my GPU to work with my distro.
Oh,
That's
don't get
that
me
was the
started
thing.
on GPUs. I bought an $800 uh, GPU that I only found out after I purchased it that I could not use it on my mini Mac. I was so upset. I have the GPU box. I have this big black box that the GPU goes into. So I
Hmm.
ended up going to Walmart and buying a $300 one that works and that works on
Wait,
this mini Mac.
wait, you're running a Mac, right?
Yes,
Is it a laptop or is it a Mac Mini?
Mac Mini,
Oh,
2018.
I'm not sure about those because I'm not really into Apple, but can you Thunderbolt it with the GPU?
Yep, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
I
doing
too
right now.
thought the same.
Oh, so it
Hmm.
works,
Yeah,
but not
BPlap
the high-end
says
GPUs, right?
uh, not that high. No,
Like
you cannot use the
like a
high-end GPU.
3090.
No, no.
Shit,
I
that's
had a 3070 is what I bought, and I couldn't use
mm.
it,
Yo.
so I had to sell it for $300.
Is it
So
because of the RTX?
it's because of Apple. I have no idea. I
Oh,
don't know what they're doing.
that's
Let's
good.
see. We got some comments here. Cranberry said his system's up to date, but he doesn't know. BPlap said, did you try opening an issue on Docker's GitHub? That was what I did, and they had the issue resolved like in 1 or 2 days. So that's good. Docker has a good system. And Cranberry says, no, I did not. Yeah, I'll work it out, guys. Maybe y'all can get Cranberry's system up and going. That'd be cool. And just for
Guys, I
those,
have a
go ahead.
yeah. Sorry about that. I have a question. Whenever you code, especially like app development, because I've learned a lot of languages. I have C++ in my arsenal and all
Mm-hmm.
that. But what I am concerned is with the security of the app. So every time I code something, I am not sure how secure it is. Like I use error handling and all that, but still, how secure it actually is.
Uh, well, there's going to be hackers at white hats that just want to get around and delve into whatever they can. PHP comes to mind just because it's the prominent web language that WordPress runs off of, and WordPress pretty much runs the internet. So
Hmm.
it's only as good as the security you put in it. If you're putting in security through pardon me, I'm going to butcher this word, obfuscation. If you're trying to
Obscurity.
what's that?
It's security by obscurity.
There you go. Security by insecurity. Who is that?
Bing.
Ping. Oh man, what's up, Ping? But yeah, if you build security based on strings or hashes, you're gonna get what you reap. If you don't sit down and write a security system specifically for your platform, it's gonna, you know, it's you're gonna reap what you sow. So it requires attention, not more than say the authentication system, but I would say you put about as much on your security because it is involved in everything. Security is involved at the beginning of application development, during application development, and it's part of the maintenance of application operation as well. So security is a long-term commitment to your project, and it's ever changing. That's why good programs you see like Discord consistently push out updates. So as long as you don't make your update system unmanageable by the end user, it just works and it just updates, you know. So make sure you build in a secured system to update your product. Then there shouldn't be an issue. What were you going to say, Ping?
Yeah, well, that so like you have to pay attention to this because um well, my major is actually security, but the thing is they never actually like there's no proper way of securing code. There are good practices, but no like, you know, direct way. Okay, so step 1 do this, step 2 do this. It's not like networking.
Hmm. That's
That's
be,
like the hard thing I found.
yeah. It's every package is different. Every product is different. So you have to build it for that product. That's
I'm
so.
guessing you learn this as you go.
Well, yeah, yeah. Let's see, Google sign in repository. Where am I unplugging at? I'm unplugging somewhere in this line. What are you up to today, Ping?
Nothing. I
Nothing.
left my job yesterday.
Oh yeah? What'd y'all do?
So I was a CTO of a startup.
Oh, really? Wow.
That sounds cool.
That's pretty impressive.
So we're like a stock trading app, like Robinhood, but we're also allow you to like create portfolios and follow other people.
So why'd you leave?
Sort of like investing in somebody's ETF, but without all the paperwork involved.
Yeah. So do you have a large venture capital for that you offer people? So it sounds like it's a streamlined Shark Tank.
Um, well, you're not in. You're investing in stocks, so it's all like equities.
Stocks. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Stock market. I used to do that with a spreadsheet and I actually made some good money on it. We won't discuss that on the air with the tax people, but I did okay. I held my own. It was in 2009 when the big stock market crash of 2009. I picked up some Bank of America stock for like $3.05. I'm kicking myself for not having the insight to hold on to those for a long time, but it is what it is. But I've made some pretty decent bucks riding that wave up, but I did it all on a spreadsheet. Back then, there wasn't the biggest app was Yahoo Finance, but now you
Yeah,
have things
Yahoo
like,
Finance is still a great way to get free stock data
is it really?
because they
Oh, that's
they
good to
have
know.
20 years of daily bars, which is nice. But if you're doing anything professionally, it's basically impossible to trade without like a Bloomberg terminal or like an
Absolutely.
actual exchange connection because you're just not getting good information with aggregates. Um,
Yeah, you're getting whatever they have. So you provide direct news as it is to the.
Ideally, you get actual like quotes or trades, um, but if you're just like writing an algorithm to do day trading or like
Mhm.
daily um, intervals, then you technically only really need the open low high open close high low. Um, but
Hmm. Is this
stock
CFDs?
trading's a rabbit hole and a half.
Yes. You can
Yeah,
you can make some money or lose some money.
especially if you get into like non-equities, like futures, options, derivatives get really fucking complicated. Because if you're trading derivatives, like sometimes your potential losses are infinite, so you could literally like owe people a shitload of money, and if you're on margin or you have leverage, then it might be even higher. So stock trading is like really complicated if you're trying to do it professionally, and it's impossible to do it like you see people on TikTok and YouTube or whatever giving people advice to trade stocks. It's like basically gambling. Like you literally do not have the tools, you do not have the means as like a regular person to effectively trade in the stock market no matter what. Like you need a team, you need data people, you need analysts, you need peering with exchanges, like
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And your program provides some of those entities in one.
yeah, I mean it's like Robinhood. Like you get a data feed, you get to buy and sell, manage money, manage but the cool part about it is the portfolios. So um, you can sort of copy trade other people's portfolios. Say you have like some smart kid in your class that you trust with your money. In the app, you can just go and follow him, like add $5 or whatever, and he can use that to trade. So it's a little bit more like user driven than an ETF. In ETF, it's like you gotta file, you have to have like $100,000 minimum, and there's like a bunch of regulation. Not every app is gonna list your ETF.
What's ETF?
It's like how do I explain?
Oh, we're getting into stocks now.
What is ETF? You'll get a good explanation.
Yeah, we're getting into stock language.
It's like a fund that is securitized.
Exchange traded funds are exactly as the name, funds that trade on exchanges, generally tracking a specific index. Oh, that. Oh, okay. The ETF. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so if you hear somebody investing in like the S&P 500, what they're doing is they're buying shares of an index or an ETF that lists the S&P 500.
Okay, that makes sense. So they're buying the pot, not the potatoes.
Yep.
Okay. And is this product built? Is it out on the market, or is it in the process of being built?
We're in a private beta right now. We're trying to go stealth mode because if you
don't say too much because this is streaming. Don't say too much.
Yeah, if word gets out, a small startup, I'm not gonna say the name, gets like over 10 million in funding. It's gonna go on like TechCrunch and stuff, and we want to keep that.
Yeah, keep it
that for
fair.
when we launch and not when we're in a beta.
Good. That's wonderful. Good. I wish you luck with that, Pink. Did you say it was your father?
Sorry?
Oh, I thought you said dad or something earlier. So it's your product. It's your program. Oh man, I wish you the best of luck with it, Pink.
Yeah.
I might know someone famous soon in the future.
Yeah, everything's written in Flutter, obviously, and we had investors and like advisors and stuff saying it's way too risky. It's like a new technology and all that. They're like not sure if it's worth it or not, but I managed to convince people, and we went with Flutter, and honestly, it paid off like so well. Just having something that's cross-platform, it's really easy to get people onto it. Like half of our front-end developers were writing React code or native Android. So yeah, it's super easy to get people on board, and they're writing good code too. Like you don't need to write Flutter for like 4 years to understand it really well. Like people are, if you know JavaScript, if you know TypeScript, Java, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you already have foundations, you can write pretty decent code. You can write tests properly and stuff. So
Yeah.
couldn't praise Flutter more. Like it got to the point where we had to hire like 4 more backend engineers, because like the front end was just way too fast. Like we were building front end features before they were even ready. Like before we
Before
had
you had
database tables and stuff. We started using
wow.
Firebase to like speed up the process of like building front end features.
Really?
So we have backend engineers that literally just take Firebase stuff and like convert it into endpoints and Postgres and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Wow. So
I love
the
Flutter.
front end was driving the back end, not the other way around. That's pretty
Yep.
good. That's pretty good. That's how you know you got it right. When the back end guys are hustling to keep up instead of the front end guys. Me, I'm just taking it slow. It's me and one other coder, a front end guy on this. That's what I'm firing up right now to see his front end. He's been working on it. He's been running with it. I don't know too much about. I know basic widgets. I can build boxes and I can get my data to the end user and they can interact with it, but I can't make it look pretty. I don't have that skill set.
Yeah, get a good designer.
Mm-hmm.
A good designer will save you like so much time and make stuff so pretty.
Yeah, they have the applications to do it too. I don't know what application he uses, but he's pretty much stays on it most of the time.
Figma?
I don't know.
Figma and Adobe
That's what I was
XD are
gonna
the
say.
most popular.
Yep, those two, pretty much.
I do like Figma, but do you need an extension in PubSpec to use that?
Um, no. It's like a design app, like
Yeah,
prototyping.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you create a prototype, you can make it like functional. So like you click on a button, it transitions to another page, and then from there you can just within this prototype you can just copy it into like Flutter. Basically, not copy the code, but like build it in Flutter. But you'll have a good idea of what's like what you need to do and how you need to do it and where everything else located.
Did not know that. Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah, you
Actually, it says yeah. Sorry.
you don't directly like convert Figma or Adobe XD into Flutter unless it's like an icon or something. You can turn it into SVG, but usually the front end people just re-implement the design directly.
Yep.
They don't copy any of the assets over or anything.
Oh,
No, I
so
meant like that. Yeah.
they write it out. So they do it on Figma, and then they go into Flutter, and they build the widgets by hand based on
Yep.
their
Yep.
what they see. Wow, so that's building your artwork and then copying it. It's like building an oil painting and then going and drawing it out by hand.
Yep.
It's pretty neat. Wow.
And if you're working with web development, Figma also has this really good feature where it also builds out the CSS uh, for the
Oh,
for the
that's
web part.
handy. That's handy.
Yeah. So, for example, if you create a shape, you can copy like the CSS code of that shape
Mm-hmm.
and just paste it into your code. I mean, it won't be perfect, but it's a good overview for like what you. I mean, it's there to get you started, but you have to play around with it in the CSS file. So.
That saves
Yep.
some time, and it that's some transferability of from the program to the Flutter web. That's pretty neat. Yeah, that's what I like about Flutter. As being said, it's just on everything. It's on all platforms. So my product, it if you put down your iPhone and you go to the web and you log in, you're right where you were at on your iPhone. You know, your data's already transferred, it's available there. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a great, wonderful language. When I was looking to build this app, I said, well, what am I going to write it in? That was about 2 years ago. I was just getting back into coding. And I said, you know, I could write it in C. And I started looking at C widgets and what kind of widgets there were out for C. And I said, well, and I found Flutter by accident. It was not that easy to find a new language like Flutter. I was actually almost on Eclipse. I almost switched over to Eclipse, but then I found Flutter and I said, well, let me try this. And then I found Coder, and Coder taught me a lot. And so now I'm just working on that.
Well, the way I found Flutter is actually I was just watching a YouTube video by I don't know if you guys know him, but his name is Kalan. I think he's from Sweden. Yeah, he's pretty small, but I was watching his videos and yeah, that I just saw like how he was coding with Flutter and I decided to learn it, even though it's not really like a part of my major.
You learned it, you found it from YouTube. How'd
Yeah,
everyone how'd everyone else find it? How'd you find it, Bilal? Oh, guys, I have a problem with Hive DB. Can you take a look? Oh, I was looking at mentions on my Discord here. There's a lot of people. Ping, there's a lot of people in this channel.
Yeah, it's popping.
It's popping.
We got. I don't recognize anybody but Niv.
Yeah,
yep, same.
yeah. You know this is Gum Dum, right? Well, if not, now you do. This is Gum Dum.
Oh,
You, Ping, and Miyoyo are my favorite people.
I might stop watching Ping play Sea of Thieves.
Oh, is that what he's doing? Sea of Thieves?
It's not very interesting. This game is like very chill, and especially if you don't have
Yeah.
friends, it's just people on Xbox.
Oh no, I never played the game. I just like watching it. It's actually like a it's a exactly what you said. It's actually a very chill game.
Gotta,
I play
I know what we gotta do
Minecraft.
though.
Oh,
We gotta find
Minecraft
an
everyone
island
plays
with
it.
explosives.
Oh, there you go. Going and blowing up the island.
Well, that's actually an interesting story. That's what like kind of got my interest into coding.
Was gaming
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I uh I became obsessed with Minecraft mods and yep, I went
really?
through the rabbit hole of yep. Like I did some research because I wanted to make my own at some point,
Mm-hmm.
but I never got around it, which is interesting. But then I like that's what caught my interest with Python, and
Mm-hmm.
then from Python I went to Java, then I went to C++, then C. Now it came to a point where I learned assembly 8086, which is I don't know why am I so lifeless, but
Assembly at the age of 6?
no, no, assembly 8086, like the x86.
Oh,
Yep.
I thought you said at the age of 6. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, imagine learning assembly at the age of 6. Damn.
Well, I mean, x86 is like based on it because
Yep.
8086 is 16-bit. Is like every modern x86 CPU still has a 16-bit mode.
Yep. It's actually it's an interesting language because I faced a lot of challenges because for the first time I didn't play around with a lot of variables and I had to use registers to call functions and all that. It was very interesting. Uh, like, but But it's good that I went from like a high-end language to a lower, because if somebody is starting with this with C++ and they try to play with pointers when they don't know like even basic knowledge of object oriented, it will be difficult for them, because working with memory registers and all that, uh, it's not fun. Well, I mean it's fun, but it's very tedious and it's boring. It's boring when when you don't know anything about like programming. So yeah. And now like every time I use Flutter, I kind of feel like a script kiddie, because the widgets are already pre-built, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You write one line, you already have like a whole interface.
That is so true. That's like what is it? Node. Node. You just type in like one little thing and you got this 200 lines of JavaScript.
Like, because I have a friend, he's like, well, I'm 19, and the kid is like, I think he's like 16 or 17 years old. And it's a very interesting thing, because he messaged me a few days back, and he's like, "Dude, I'm a pro developer. I use JavaScript and CSS." I'm like, "Yeah, nice, cool." And then he shows me a website. Yeah, he has a nice website. But you look at the code, and after like working with C++ for like a year or two, you're looking at it and you're like, "Are you actually a pro?" I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not
the end
insulting
result.
anyone. I hope so.
Yeah, the end result is very nice. It's like what is that HTML package that they have? You can pull in the current version of it, and you instantly have CSS buttons and all kinds of things.
And now,
Forgot the
and
name
now
of
they
it.
also have, like CSS wasn't easy enough, so they made Sass, which is I guess like an extension of CSS.
The SAS compiler is written in Dart.
Yeah,
No, is it?
Yeah.
and
Huh.
it's like, if CSS wasn't easy enough, let's fucking create like a puzzle for puzzles, you know? It's like, dude, like it's too simple, because now it auto completes the whole shape for you, which is like interesting, you know? It's very interesting. Like programming is becoming so much easier. Nobody wants to do like at the age of 16 basically you can get into front end easily. Like it's basically building with puzzles.
Hmm.
Backend is still challenging, but I bet like give it like 5 or 10 years, backend is gonna be nothing.
Well, they have some sites like I don't remember the name of that Flutter site where they do all the back end for you too. You just
Yeah, but
and
still.
they'll hook up Firebase for you. You'll have an entire app within 5 minutes.
And that kind of scares me, to be honest. With the whole programming industry becoming like easier.
Well, it's the same as the internet and WordPress. You just download WordPress. Actually, you just spend $2 a month on a host, and they'll give you WordPress. They'll give you a website. All you got to do is go to WP Admin and start building. And
Yeah, but imagine like wouldn't wouldn't we all lose jobs, for
No.
example?
no, no, we just
I'm not
changed
worried.
jobs.
I'm not worried because software dev is not my field, it's my hobby. But still, it's like a bit scary, you know? Like we have websites like Wix. Sorry, we have websites like Wix. What can Wix not do?
A lot of things.
Well,
Well, I
uh,
don't know. I never explored the
seeing
website,
I've
but
never used it. I don't know. I've never used Wix. I've used
it's scary. Like,
WordPress. I've used what is that? Elementor with WordPress. I had fun with that, but I have not used Wix.
well, maybe I haven't done enough research on it, but still, it can do a lot.
Hey, you can write a paper on it.
Yep.
You can't do
Anyone
stock
else?
trading with the Wix.
Oh,
Can't see
oh yeah,
side. This
makes
is true.
sense.
This is true. Anyone else in college right now? Any aspiring engineers out there?
dropped out of middle school.
No, you didn't, Payne.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I finished high school and I finally got college later on in my life.
Um, can I be honest with you? If you're
No.
studying in an IT field, okay.
Go ahead, Custom.
If you're studying in the field of IT, going to college is the only reason you'd ever go to college is to get a higher position in some big ass company. Other than that, yeah, you're gonna be learning most of the time by yourself, and that's the same thing for me. I'm on my second year in cybersec. It's you can do the CompTIA exam, which is what, like 20 or 30 times cheaper, if not more, and you're gonna be better off with that because you do the security plus exam with CompTIA, and you already basically have the knowledge of 2 years in cybersec. Do a bunch of CTFs, play with networking in Cisco's packet tracer, and that's it. Like you have really good knowledge with cybersec.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
Well, that's pretty much it. That's my advice for anyone who's looking at the field of cybersec.
The cybersecurity is a booming business right now. But I talked to a cyber security specialist and I said, "What is it you actually do?" And you know what he told me? He said he sat there and looked at logs all day long. I said,
Yep,
"Well, that doesn't sound fun."
we we look at logs, and then if we notice something, there's like a whole implementation of fixes. You have to play around with switch security, router security. It's mostly gonna be networking and server side stuff. It's not gonna be anything related to programming, but we are studying programming if any of us wants to do like the whole app security thing, which pays fine. The most interesting part of my profession, I would say at least, it's pen testing, because that is actually a really good and a very interesting part of my profession. Because what you do is you try to break apps, you try to break websites, you try to find a loophole, and people pay a lot of money for that.
Hmm.
So that's like, I kind of answered my question here. If I wanna secure my app, I have to pen test it myself, try to find the weaknesses,
Or get
and
someone that's done this for a while, like Randall, to run through it for you,
yep,
put it through the ringer, and yeah, get some of that old experience in there to see what. Not calling Randall old, but he is very experienced. He has over
Randall
30
is old.
years. He's got over 30 years experience in this field. Get him in there, and he can find those little nooks and crannies where you might need to patch it up some.
yep, that's, yeah. Well, it comes with experience. As
Yeah.
long, like, the more you sit in the field, the more you're gonna be experienced in it. I personally think that I chose this profession because I think it has a quite a long future, maybe for the next 30 years, if not more. But yeah, it's that.
I'm just wondering what this is. I need to find an example of this somewhere.
I miss the days when there was a little bit more analog stuff. Analog was an interesting time
What are you talking about?
because,
Analog.
like, because hacking was more of a physical job than the digital, you
Mm.
know?
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, I'm not saying that hacking nowadays is boring, but it's certainly not interesting as much as it used to be because like you would have to, for example, when PlayStation 1 was a thing or PlayStation 2, the way to hack it was like to jump certain circuits on a circuit board, which was really interesting because you had to like take apart the PlayStation, you had to understand how the circuit works, solder it. It was nice. I used to like, I love that.
Oh man, you used to get into down to the diodes and resistors, huh?
Oh, well, I have some experience working with circuits. I love working with Arduinos too. So,
Hmm.
yep, I have some experience with that. But nowadays is mostly you just boot up Kali Linux and or some other distro for pen
What
testing, and
is
you have like all the tools there.
what's a new distro? Popular little in a box distro, Raspberry or Pi? Pi, I think it is.
Yeah, Raspberry Pi, it's small
Raspberry Pi.
computer basically.
Yeah. So it's Linux, isn't it? It's a kernel, Linux kernel.
I think so. I never looked into Raspberry Pis because I am familiar with Arduinos and all I do with them, it's enough for me. But I want to look into Raspberry Pi sometime. The thing is, it's $100 or so, and well, in my country, it's a bit expensive for us. Um, so yeah, I might purchase it next month.
Hmm. What are you going to purchase next month?
Oh, Raspberry Pi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the mini computer.
Yeah. No, I haven't looked at them, but I've seen that they've come on some pretty neat things lately. You know, people are getting pretty smart with their engineering, and it's being run by Raspberry.
You can what's like kind of shocking. It's like you can run servers on that thing. Not like a really like good and strong server, no, but like you can still host a server there,
Hmm.
and
Oh
it
yeah,
can be pretty
absolutely.
good.
Yeah, or it can be the building block of a server. It can be the startup routine or the small module loaded module of mainframe system or several modules of a mainframe system. Absolutely. The
I was thinking is to make it an FTP,
Oh yeah, sure
uh,
can.
just to try it like as a first project. I might make it an FTP servers just to see how like my own cloud, you know.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes.
I'm looking to see what I need to get this plugged in because they are using Yahoo pops up, and the only difference between Google and Yahoo is that this they open this discover this ID issuer Yahoo client, and then it launches this URL string URL can launch URI parse URL, and then this URL is URL. Where did we launch that? Authenticator OpenID Authenticator client redirect URI parse Yahoo redirect URI. And what is mine? Google. That's the wrong URI. Let's see. The correct URI is this right here. I need to move my screen off a little so you don't see all of my secrets. Move this out of the way. Just have to go into my const where all my secrets are at. Utilities, const, and make sure that the Google client or Google redirect is in there. Nope, that is a wrong one. That might be the problem. Let's try this.
So these work now? You already have a iPhone 14 MU?
I have what?
It's an iPhone 14 emulator. Nice.
Oh yeah, sure. The
That's cool.
514. Yep. And of course, I just threw my secrets up on the screen, so gotta love live video. So I have to change all of those. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with something if I'm streaming all the time. You should, if you look at Twitch, you can see my little mini me. That's my mini me with
You're streaming on Twitch?
yeah.
Oh
Go
shit.
to
What's your Twitch name?
my Flutter code. Yeah. I'll stream for about 2 hours while
Oh,
I
I
code,
see.
and then I'll take a break. Yep.
Yo, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'ma follow you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yep. It's on Twitch, Trovo, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
That is so interesting because I was gonna do streaming on Twitch with my coding. I think that's like that might be a new genre on Twitch soon enough because I feel like there's a lot of people who are getting into programming and they want to be a streamer at the same time. So like, a stream developer
Mm-hmm.
might be
Absolutely.
interesting. Right, guys, I'm gonna have to dip right now. I have to do a lot of things. So have a good day, everyone.
All right. You have a good day too, customers. Good meeting you, buddy.
Thank you very much, Flutter Code. See ya.
See ya. All right. See if this works. Does it work? Does it? No. Set up Google login. But this works. That works. Now I put something down in the bottom. Let's get out of that. I put this dum-dum 31 down here. So that's right before the parse, right after the parse. It should be printing dum-dum 31 down here when I click that. And it did not. So we aren't even coming down here. Why are we not coming down here? Now for this here, I use injection, just standard get it. My get it is an application injection. So there's nothing fancy about it. It just goes standard Google. It's a register single. It's a singleton, so it comes up once when it's called, and then that's it. It stays up. Now what is Yahoo? Yahoo is also a singleton, so there's no difference there. I'm trying to find out what the difference is between Google and Yahoo, because Yahoo is working, Google's not. So I mean, whenever you're debugging, that's if something's working, find out what's working and try to copy it. Because somewhere it could be just one little thing that's off. So I need some help. I'm going to run this through the debugger with all exceptions. See what happens. See if I can get an exception here. Nothing. So it's wired correctly. All right. Auth user Google is called up here. We know it's getting called because this is being read. Let's change the capitalization to C. Set up Google login. So we change the capitalization. Hot refresh. I love this hot reload. Someone was talking about it the other day. I don't remember who. They were saying that was their favorite thing. I think it was Paint. I don't remember. Someone just loved hot reload. Oh, it was Randall. Randall does. Set up Google login. Okay, so we know what we're doing here. So we get an instance, so we go to the login with Google. We're just going to walk this step by step. get Google sign in equals Google authentication repository login either. Okay, we're going to print. You know, whenever I print a statement, I always throw my name in there. My avatar name is GumDum, so I throw in GumDum, and then some weird number, 48, so that if something pops up down here, like I'm here and I'm following code, then if it's GumDum48, I just do a search for GumDum48 instead of I'm here and there's I'm here all over the place. Or if it's note and there's note all over the place, you know, or forms. I just throw my name and a weird number and I can do a quick search if I see random writing down here. Let's see. I want the, what do I want here?
Oh, I am watching your streaming on Twitch TV.
Are you?
Yeah. I talked with you in yesterday.
Yep. Oh yeah, sure did. Uh-huh. Who's this, Teal?
Yeah. And I am still now in almost 30 minutes here.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop streaming at 2 hours because most of the systems, that's their max time and then they start over again. So I'm gonna take a break in about it'll be 2 hours here shortly. I'm gonna take a break in about 30 minutes, a little under 30 minutes, and get some lunch and stuff. Do some research on this, find out what's going on. So let's see here. So let's see, print GumDum 43, it's left. So if it's left, it means it's failing. Oh, can't do that, can we? It's left. Okay. So let's see if it's stopping right here. All right, click on Google. And it is, it's left, so it's getting returned a failure. But we're not even firing down here. So why are we returning a failure? So we gotta follow the code down a little bit more. Let's see. That is the block. So from the block in the presentation, we go down to the domain to the use case. The use case, we know the use case is getting called because, well, we don't know the use case is getting called. We'll have to look and see. This is at Google sign in use case, return a member entity or no params, but it's returning a failure. Call no params param repository Google sign in. So it's calling the repository of is calling this repository auth repo Google sign in. This right here. This is an abstract class. So then we jump from the repository area, we jump down into the infrastructure, and we implement the abstract class here. Should be Google sign in, try result equals auth data source, get Google sign in. Now, Yahoo is working. What does Yahoo do? Try final result equals wait auth data source Yahoo, get Yahoo. I don't have anything else about Google in here. No. So this is either a failure or a member entity is what it's going to return, this union here. So it's returning a failure and returns left Google sign in. So now we go down to further down into the data source, the external is an interface for get Google sign in. And it's implemented right here in the auth, get Google sign in. So let's see if we are here. Right. Let's try seeing if printing that works. We got about 20 more minutes and then we will be done here. I'm listening to lo-fi in the background. It's really chill music. I'm trying to talk the moderators. And for those watching this a little later, this is streaming. There's a few folks in here this is in the Flutter dev community. If you go to Discord, Flutter dev, or if you go to flutter.dev/community, there's a whole list of communities. There's Slack community, there's a Discord community, there's a Google Groups community. So there's no lack of information available for this excellent language. Just find your niche. Mine is Discord, so drop on in and say hi to the guys in Discord. Let's see. So we're going to click. Are we down there? Gum here. It's left. Here. So we're here. But we don't go here.
Error?
Yep. So we made it down here, right here, Gum 10. So we made it down here. Gum 43, it's left. So we made it down here, and then we bounce back up to the block. We returned a failure. So we returned a failure from this mamma jamma right here. Now, if I put issuer as it was, what? We're just going to go back a lot of. So this is how it was. OpenID issuer.google. So that's probably what I need to do. I need to do research on this right here and find out what I need to do to create that client that it's asking for here. I don't have to use this package. I mean, I'm using this package just because it does a lot of the legwork for me. I don't really have to use it. I can write my own, but this is just the API, you know. I really could write my own API because this does an authentication is what it does. It returns an authentication. It has an authenticator, and then it does an authorize with credentials, and then it gets the token for you. So it's, I mean, it does all the backdoor behind the scenes stuff you have to do to talk directly. It does the JSON for you, the token transfer, the token exchange for you. It does all that behind the scenes stuff. So you don't have to write all these classes because they're already written. And they're written in this package here, OpenID client, which comes from pub.dev. Pub.dev is the definitive place to go for anything you need for, let's say you need a widget on logging in, and you just don't want to mess with logging in, which is what this is right here. This login here, see that action there? Let's see if I can find it. This is it. Does this look familiar? Let me show you again. Got password, back, sign up, drops down. So that's what this package is. It's Flutter login. So if you're looking for something that will save you time on development, it's not copy and paste, but it's very close to you. You can copy and paste it, but then you end up with eCore and it's connected to nothing. So, well, that's neat. So you have to do some of your own wiring up and put your own special touch on it, but all the heavy work is already done for you. So that's all the behind the scenes stuff, and that's what this OpenID client does for me. It does the behind the scenes stuff, token exchange, creating the clients, creating the discussion back and forth between the host, between the Keycloak host. So this here is, if you print known issuers, it's just going to print this down here. Oh, it doesn't list it, but it's just going to print the list of who it knows, and the issuers are, they're pretty long. It knows Facebook, Google, a number of them. Oh, here's one. So then this walks you through a simple usage example. Now, await discover issuer.google. You know what? I've been asking how to create a client, and right here it is, client ID, client secret. When in doubt, just go where you got the code from. Right there it is. This whole series, I've been saying, how do I make a client? That's how I make a client. I need the client ID, which is, all right, let's do this. Wow, I'll tell you. Let's try it. We got, how much time we got left? We got 17 minutes. We can do it. You can do it. Let's see, get Google sign in. Issuer, we're going to pop it in right at the top. All right. OpenID issuer. And this here is, if you look at openid.issuer.google, all that is, let's close some of these guys up. We know now where the error's at. It's right here. If you go to the issuer and we're looking for Google, it's just the URI. That's all it is. So we're going to put the URI of URI.part. And this is what I say, what I was referring to when I said you have to put your own special touch on it, because I'm using this package to connect to my authentication system. I'm not using it as the package was intended, which is to connect to Google directly, connect to Yahoo directly, and connect to Facebook. I'm doing a roundabout method. I'm connecting to, like I said earlier, it's a triangle. Think of my auth system up here, the remote connection like Google over here, and then the code right here. So in order to get to there, instead of going straight to Google, which this package allows me to do, I go up to my authorization system, and my authorization system does the call to Google for me. So then that information is stored in my authorization system, and I request that information. I never talk directly to Google. I only talk to my authorization system. So therefore, I can keep user data updated. I'm not having to jump to multiple different locations to always update a profile. So if you update your profile on Google, it's going to update on my system, and it updates everything. For if you didn't update it on Facebook or login, you're still going to get an update because you updated Google. So that's how it works. That's theoretically how it's going to work. It should work like that. I don't know. We're going to find out. So URI parse, and we want the key cloak. We want key cloak, realm URL. That's what we want. Client ID is a key cloak client ID. And the client secret, I don't think there is one. Let's see. Let's just ask the question. Where is Keycloak client secret? I knew I wasn't the only one to ask this. Your client needs to have an access type set to confidential. Then you will have a new tab, credentials, where you can see the client secret. Okay, so we need to set access type to confidential. All right. Hide login page, account linking only, trust email, disable. Tokens, nope, none of this. Oh, timed out. Allows token. Now, token exchange, you need it because, as I say, I'm going to be talking from my system to Google. So in order to get that Google authentication, since I'm not talking directly to Google, I need to do a token exchange up here. So that's what this permission enable allows. It allows a token exchange to occur right here in this system between Google and my app. And we want request refresh. There's nothing on here about resources, policies, unanimous verdict. This? Nothing on here. Client details, that's permissions. There we go. Now, what did it say we need? It said we need access type to confidential.
What is the use of
What's that?
I said to you, what is the use of Keycloak? Why you use that?
Keycloak, you know Firebase?
Yeah.
Keycloak is Firebase.
Oh, I like that.
I'll need a customer tribute. So none of this. Access token? Didn't it say access token? It said access type. Mutual TLS certificate bound access tokens, which means that Keycloak bind access token and a refresh token with certificate of a token requesting client exchange mutual TLS between Keycloak's token endpoint and this client. These tokens can be treated as a holder of key tokens instead of a bearer of tokens. I don't really need a holder of key, but that does need to be on. Post authorization requested. No. All right, folks, if you were an access type, where would you be in the clients? Initial access token. Oh, okay, nice. Might not get it in this episode, but I'll do some more research. Account, client ID description, always display console. Let's turn that on. Log out web origins admin URL. Define the type of client when it's on. The OIC type is set to confident. Right there it is. Confident when it's off. Authorization will disable fine-grained authorization. Okay, so it's on now. So save. Now I should have a. Then you have a new tab, credentials. There it is, client secret. All right, we got a client secret. Just to let y'all know, y'all can see it, sure, but in the future, it will be changed. I'm just going to drop it in directly to remind myself to change it. This is not going to be a good client secret in the future. The name client isn't a class. All these little blue squigglies. Okay, that's it. Client credential. The credential functions, access token, some received authorization code. Client ID, client, create a credential object from authorization. Now at this point, I think so. I created the client. This is old stuff. This is old stuff right here. User open ID and the client. So we are here. This is going to be Keycloak. You need the key client redirect URI. Did I already do it? No. Where's the redirect? Valid redirects. Almost, I can taste it. I can taste it. We're just gonna put it in here for the sake of this. Quick. So I want to test this. HTTPS www. login.biblebreeze.com. All right, let's give it a shot. No whammies, no whammies. Big dollars, big dollars. Okay. If I get a pop-up window, I will be tickled pink. Wah, wah, wah. All right, guys. Well, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all, everyone out there, for listening. If you haven't already checked out Flutter, go check it out. Flutter.dev or Dart.dev if you're into backend. Check out the Flutter community, Flutter.dev.